Today's podcast is brought to you by Casper.com. Receive $50 towards any mattress purchase at www.caspertrial.com/SIBSB.
Until I met my new best friend, all of my boys say I'm tripping. When they call, I'm not answering. They always get my voice.
Oh yeah, Alex, are we rolling? We're rolling. Welcome to another episode of Sorry I've Been So Busy. This is the podcast where we talk to very busy people about what they are busy with. Sometimes we talk to not very busy people about what they pretend to be busy with all day.
In this case...
No, we have a busy person.
Very busy person.
Yes. That's Andrew Goldstein right there.
At Ange Gold on Twitter, ANGEGOLD.
Thank you for joining us. We're here at the Showbiz Studios with producer Alex. And we took Alex. We had a recording the other night. We took Alex out to a nice dinner, which was very fun. Great to celebrate all the success of the pod.
The podcast dinner.
Yes, it was
excellent burger.
We got a great burger.
Shout out to David's Cafe on
right.
St. Mark's.
I can never remember the name of it.
Fantastic burger.
Yeah,
quite possibly could make it into my top 5, which I haven't.
Wow.
I haven't knocked any place out of my top 5 in like 15 years.
This is you gotta.
That's how much I like that burger.
You have to post the list on Instagram.
I
know. Please check out all the Showbiz Studios podcasts at showbizstudios.com, and also the YouTube page. Oh, he's got an announcement. Okay,
check out Thought Spiral with Andy Kindler and Josh Elvis Weinstein. We have new merch.
Oh, merch!
On Zazzle.
I heard them on Marin, and they did a terrible job of promoting the podcast.
Horrible job.
But that's okay.
We need work. They need a better producer.
Yeah, clearly. And check us out. We're on Facebook. Sorry I've Been So Busy. Twitter at Busy Podcast. We got the YouTube page, and you can find us anywhere. Please leave us a review. Rate us on iTunes if you can.
Who's our busybody of the week?
Yes,
we have a new review.
PodPro 1000. I like this review on iTunes. Great listen. These guys are funny, and the guests are a good mix of writers, comedians, and media insiders.
Ooh.
Wow. I always love to be the media insider, like Richard Deitch.
Yeah.
Or the
Stu Bykowski.
Yeah, the Phil Mushnick of but thank you for the review. And
Linda Stasi.
If you would leave us a review, you could get shouted out on the pod. Now we're just delving deep into it. So Andrew, any more business we got to take care of before we come back with our guest?
No, I just want to get right into it.
I'm very hungover, so let's get right into it.
Wow.
All right, we'll take a break.
A rare hangover.
For you, the listeners of Sorry I've Been So Busy, Casper is offering $50 towards any mattress purchase at Casper.com. This is something we talk about all the time on the podcast. Everybody's so busy. They don't get enough sleep. Their sleep is interrupted. They got their phone by the bed. They're checking it in the middle of the night. We're not going to change any of these things, so why not get a better sleep on a better mattress from Casper.com? To receive $50 towards any mattress purchase, go to CasperTrial.com/SIBSB. Again, that's CasperTrial.com/SIBSB for $50 towards any mattress purchase. And we're back with our guest. Andrew, go ahead and please introduce our guest.
This guy, he's another one of those people where it's like we share like every colleague and friend in common, and yet we've actually never met, but we've technically crossed a lot of paths, and I think the same with you too.
Same.
He is the field producer at Colbert.
The Late Show.
The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and his name's Jake Plunkett. Welcome.
Hi.
Good to see
you.
Do
you agree with all of that?
I do. I love that I'm not a comedian, writer, or media insider. I feel like I'm a letdown.
We've had a lot of producers.
I would say you're a media insider.
Is that what I am?
Yeah, well, Late Show with Stephen Colbert is media, and
That's
you're
true.
an insider.
I'm inside it. Yes, that's true.
You're inside the how the sausage is made.
You're not. I would say you're not our first field producer either, is he? I don't know. We had Ian Berger on.
Ian Berger is
yeah.
Lord of the Daily Show.
We like to get the behind-the-scenes people. That's a good way to get, instead of like just blow up, just get like 4 super comedy nerds say they love your podcast. That's great.
That's kind of our goal.
That's kind of our goal is just to have,
good.
But no, thanks for being here.
And also, Alex was reminding me that you also worked with. Wait.
Alex was doing a bad job.
No. I'm having a brain fart. No.
Scott Rogowski or
Scott.
Rogowski, who's been on the pod, and
David Feldman.
Rogo.
David Feldman.
David Feldman.
Where'd you work with David Feldman?
We were at the conventions together with Triumph Cancel Comic Dog.
Wow. I didn't know you
Robert
did Triumph
Smigel
stuff.
is the name I could not pull for some
Yes,
odd
Robert
reason.
Smigel.
What was your job on the Triumph stuff?
Basically to stay alive. It was crazy down there.
You were like embedded.
I was embedded. I was one of 2 producers who did 25 bits in 2 weeks.
Unbelievable.
Oh my God.
It was the craziest thing I've ever done.
Just sneaking into
I thought
places.
Saturday Night Live would be the craziest thing ever done.
Right, you went through the SNL
I did
system
2 years
as well.
there,
Wow.
and then I did Smigel, and I was like, well, that's it. I can't do anything crazier than
That's
this.
amazing. What was your role at SNL?
I produced a pre-tape a week.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
I was a page at SNL. I sat at that L-shaped desk outside
That's
the
right.
studio.
That's right. I tried to sleep on that desk a couple times.
And when I didn't get reception, I thought my career was over. I thought I'd never work again because I didn't get the job
and
at
look
reception.
at you now.
And look at me now. I'm hosting a podcast.
I left, and they're like, "Well, that's it for him."
Exactly.
Here's a question. So you were at the Republican and Democratic conventions.
I was.
Right? Did you do any other field stuff with them, or is that
That was mainly it. I went to Colbert around September of the election year.
Yeah. Now you had been at the convention.
Yes.
So did you have any insight? Having been at both conventions,
A lot of balloons.
Were you, a lot of, were you? Did you feel like you were on board with the rest of society in terms of thinking what would happen, or did you have any?
No, I was in the other camp. I went to a meeting with Jack's Media like in September or October that year, telling them Trump's going to win, and I think they thought I was a right-wing nut job.
Yep.
Wow.
But I was like, that convention was so jazzed. Like all the people there, the energy was crazy. And then we get to the Democratic convention in Philly, and there were sniper rifles pointed at the media tents, and I'm like, this isn't going to work.
Wow.
Yeah, like Bernie and Hillary people were not connecting.
Yeah.
And so I came back, I was like, fuck, Saachi,
You knew
my
it.
wife.
Yeah.
I was like, Trump's going to win, man. And like,
And did she think you were crazy?
yeah. And then
We all drank the
Briefly
Kool-Aid.
moved out. It'd move out.
yeah. And then you don't want to say November 7th. I was like, hey, I told you so, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because it was just
The
the
Jake
worst night
Plunkett,
ever.
I Told You So tour.
Yeah, that's my book. It's selling very poorly.
It's not a fun thing to predict.
It's
No, it's
stacked
not.
right
Yeah.
behind Unhinged
No. Yeah, exactly.
on the bookshelves.
Exactly.
Appreciate the congrats, but yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, yeah. I mean, I imagine having seen it up close, and the. I mean, yeah, you can't discount that. I mean, I don't know.
It really was just the craziest time
Yeah.
in my field producing life, just seeing the whole country change within a year. Because
Yeah.
I did nightly show before that, and we kind of got the first groundswell a little bit, but the country still seemed like the country. There was no,
Right.
people wearing just flagrant curse words about Hillary Clinton on their
It's
T-shirts.
like Handmaid's
Yeah.
Tale before.
It really was. The Gilead was starting to come about, and I
Yeah.
was like, man, I think this is
Guys.
bad. And
Nobody listened.
It was before the people with offensive T-shirts about Hillary Clinton had cabinet positions. It was when they were just sort of like fringe elements.
that's true.
Yeah.
I worked at the Republican National Convention. It was my first job out of college before I moved to New York. I was a PA at the Philadelphia Republican National Convention. All I did was drive Britt Hume around in a golf cart.
And how was he?
He was wonderful.
Wait, you were a PA for what channel? For
Like
Was he on Fox News at that
Fox
time?
News, yeah.
Yeah.
But before Fox News was like,
yeah,
I was just like, sure, I'll do it.
yeah. It's
All the PAs hung out.
yeah. It's funny to think like I did.
It was a compound, the sports complex in Philly. They did cement
That's it.
barricades around
Yeah.
the entire thing, and every channel had a PA with a golf cart that would just shuttle talent, and we all met up and would like go drinking afterwards and stuff. But I had to drive Britt Hume and other people, but mostly I just like saying Britt Hume.
Hume. It's one of
I was
those
like,
names,
how many blue dress shirts with white collars do you have?
It is a fun name to say, no matter how despicable his views get.
Britt Hume.
We've been enjoying at work saying the name Hogan Gidley. That's a fun name to say.
That is a good one.
I don't know. He's not a nice. I mean, he's obviously like one of Huckabee Sanders' understudies, but it's just fun to say Hogan Gidley.
It's a good name.
Wait, where? And you worked with Rogowski where at?
Crowd goes wild.
the
Oh,
ill-fated
yeah.
Regis
Ill-fa-
Philbin sports
I can't
comedy
tell you.
show.
I feel like we've had multiple guests from Crowd Goes
Wait,
Wild.
yeah, and
Costa. We had Costa
we had
on.
Michael Costa.
Right.
We had Scott Rogowski.
Was there anyone
We
else?
are meaning to have Dave Easton. He's
Dave
gonna come
Easton's
on.
a wonderful human
He's
being.
one of.
Ari Olkett.
He's
You
an
worked
old
with.
friend
Ari
of mine.
Olkett. Yeah.
Another buddy of mine I worked with a lot.
But do you have a good Regis story? I know we've gotten Regis stories from Devin Delaquanti from the Daily
yeah.
Show, and we got Regis stories from Rogowski.
Regis in our rap party tried to have me thrown out. He called security because I had left for 2 months, and I think like a cat, he completely forgot.
Who are you?
Yeah, basically. And legit was trying to get security to lead me out. And everyone's like, no, Regis, he He was the guy that dressed up as the Jaguar a lot.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was also the most I've ever been on camera, which was when I knew that show was falling apart.
I
When
know,
they're
right?
going
Yeah,
to-
that's how I always feel. Anytime I'm in a bit, I'm like, oh, you guys are
You're struggling.
Yeah. What were you doing on camera for them?
They would, anytime like, oh, we need a really sad character, they'd be like, oh, we're going to, Jake's over there. And I was like, guys, I really don't want to be on camera today. So I'd be sad pigeon, sad jaguar.
It also launched the career of Katie Nolan.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
She's like
The breakout,
crazy
star.
big.
I first of all, I almost worked on Crowd Goes Wild. I was living in LA at the time, and I had come to see a taping when I was in New York, just visiting. And then I ended up communicating. It was like a back and forth. I honestly don't even remember the details, but I would have had to move back to New York. And my wife and I were kind of looking for a reason to move back to New York anyway. And then it just never panned out. It was like the numbers or the timing was just not going to work out. And so I think I ended up maybe turning it down or maybe never even getting offered it. But then I ended up coming back like a year later. But that was that's one of those things where I'm sure you found this, but you probably learn the most working on a show like that.
That fails? Yeah, for sure.
We talk about it all the time.
Where you're just throwing everything against the wall. Plus, it was every day, right?
So it was a daily live show.
Yeah, you're learning how to make a daily live show with no stakes.
Yeah, and so much would fail, and we'd be like, okay, let's not have treadmills live ever again. Because they don't work sometimes.
Yeah.
It's basically learning how to produce very quickly.
Yeah,
it's very
great.
similar
It's boot camp.
to The Sauce. I mean, we've all worked on shows like
Yeah.
this, but like
I've worked on
on
many.
Fuse. Yeah, I know, right? Too
I
many.
did like 5 years at MTV, and I feel like I destroyed that channel.
Sadly
the
did.
amount of failures I threw at that place.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I met your wife.
Yeah,
Very talented,
she's-
very funny.
Yeah. I was about to say she's still there, but she's not. She's at Facebook now.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you guys meet? Did you work together?
At MTV.
Oh.
Yeah, she was a comedy assistant, and I was the development comedy person's assistant, and we met on a pilot.
There you go.
And
A true media insider love story.
I know.
the
We met
rest,
at
as they
Comics,
say.
the old
on,
Charlie Club on 14th
Yeah.
for a March Madness show.
I met my wife at Rafifi. If that's
Did you really?
I don't know if you go that far back, but
I met my
I
wife at
remember
Burger
Rafifi.
and Barrel, which is
doesn't
very
count.
on brand for me.
That is super
On brand for all of you,
but
and then on brand for me.
That's
Great.
hilarious. Yeah. So wait, where are you from originally?
From right outside Newark, New Jersey.
Oh,
Kearney.
really?
Yeah.
Kearney.
Kearney.
Is it Kearney? It's
We say
pronounced?
Kearney. I've never heard anyone who hears it for the first time say Kearney. It's always Kearney.
Right. Isn't that also the name of one of the villains on The Simpsons is named Kearney?
Yeah,
Is that true?
No,
One of
one
Nelson's-
of the drunks at the bar.
Oh, I thought it's one
That's
of
Barney.
No,
that's Barney.
one of Nelson's goons
Is
named,
Kearney?
like
Oh.
Kearney. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a great place.
What is that like? I mean, that's one of those where like you on the way to the Parkway, like from the Turnpike to the Parkway, you drive by and you see it on the sign, and it's just like smoke. I don't know what
Swamp?
is.
It really is. Yeah, it's like a crazy flood zone. Sandy smacked it. It's a place that shouldn't be in 20 years.
Yeah.
What's that? Right by the Meadowlands, that tennis. Well, I guess it's not that
Are you thinking about that giant monstrosity
Yeah,
right
the
next to Giant
the
Stadium?
indoor skiing. Did that
Yeah.
ever open? Is that a thing?
No, it's
They-
supposed to open next summer.
It's like
now.
they built it for the World's Fair, and one of those like big buildings they build for like the Olympics or the World's Fair, and then
They just can't
they
get it
leave,
done.
and then we're just stuck with it.
It's on its fourth, I believe, investor.
Has it ever opened?
No, in fact, I think after the third investor, it went dormant so long they had to hire people to kill the wildlife that had started infiltrating that place in order to rebuild it again. So there was like a whole pack of deer in there that people,
Trump didn't try to save it like the Central Park ice skating rink?
No.
On that note, you know what is open now under new ownership is the Revel Casino in Atlantic City.
My
that
mom told
was
me all
open
about
for
it.
like
It's
a
the
year.
Hard Rock. The Hard Rock's something else.
The Revel Casino was like the shining Chris Christie's, like whatever that opened for a year. Ray Rice got into some trouble there, and then they closed it down, and it was like this basically like multi-billion-dollar building that was like lying.
It was
but
beautiful.
apparently they found new ownership.
It reopened. My summation of it when I went was that it's way too fancy for Atlantic City.
Yeah, it was way
like they tried to do Vegas and Atlantic City, and they're not looking at their customers.
So what kind of what was your? Did you go into the city a lot growing up, or
No, I grew up 5 miles from it, and I went for the first time when I was 16 or 17.
What?
My parents really believe that the 80s are still New York City's still in the 80s, and it's
Right.
just
Yeah.
crime and porn everywhere.
Do they still think that, or they?
I swear, my mom came to the show the first time. She's like, "Where's all the porn theaters?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
Flash dancers across the street. That's pretty much all.
Well,
it's
that
left.
is true. There is that guy that holds that.
I only know
postcard
that
a
because
lot.
I used to live at 55th and Broadway.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that place is pretty hopping at night.
The crazy guy who's on Fox News all the time he got rid of the porn theaters. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Giuliani.
Yeah.
So then, like, did you just want to go right into like working in TV and stuff? Or?
Yeah, I was a huge Saturday Night Live head when I was a kid, and so that was always the goal. And then I got there, and I was like, "This is no longer the goal. I need to find something else."
Who was your cast? Not working there, but
it was
growing up.
Farley,
Yeah.
Spade, those guys, Schneider.
That's
who I
a
think's
fun
a
one
huge
to
right
grow
winger
up
now.
in.
You look young. How old are you?
I'm 32.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you are younger than us,
Little-
but
yeah.
yeah. But that was
Because
those
we
were my
grew
best
up
too,
on Hartman, Carvey, Miller.
I think
Yeah.
it's the cast right before it.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
So
young
much fun.
because I dropped out of college. I got right into TV in my junior year and just lied my way through a degree.
great.
No, that was smart.
Yeah.
Wait,
I
you
mean-
did get the degree?
No, I kept saying, I was like, it's coming.
Yeah.
And they're like, don't.
Were you an intern at SNL that got promoted?
I was an intern at MTV, and the financial collapse happened, and so they were like, "Hey, you know how to edit? Great, we're going to keep you as our staff editor." And I was like, "I don't know how to edit."
Right.
So it was just like a month of pressing every button and being like, "I think I'm getting it."
Figure it out.
Yeah, and you could tell. I mean, if you watch some of MTV in 2007, you'd be like, "That's very poorly edited."
Similar to current day MTV. Listen, and then it's just rare to get into SNL not having been an intern or some kind,
It was a very strange occurrence on how I got on this. I just went to a drink with someone named Eric Kenward who was like, "So what are your aspirations?" And I was at a horrible MTV2 show at the time. I was miserable, and I was like, honestly, it's to make stuff for you guys. And he's like, "So you want to?" And I was like, "Yeah, that'd be cool." And then like 2 weeks later, I was at SNL.
It's so cool.
You had the right.
Kenward's a great guy.
Right.
Kenward is a great guy.
He was hired when I was a page at the desk.
He's a good dude.
I remember him getting hired.
You had the right attitude, which is like the editing tells me that everything, which is like you're sort of like, yeah, whatever you need me to do, I'll do it, and like I'll learn it. You know.
It basically was that. Yeah. I got to SNL, and they're like, budgets? I was like, no.
Yeah.
But I learned. I mean,
I from the beginning, and this probably stunted me, I think, along the way, and that like I was like always. I mean, I remember interviewing for the SNL page desk that you got, and nobody told me not to say this. That like I was like, oh, my dream is to like be a comedy writer, which is like not what you say. Like you say,
You're like big red cross
like
through your
It is
name.
true.
Did you
Oh,
think?
he's going to be gross.
But I was just like, oh, well, I'm the perfect person for this job
Yeah.
because, like, this is where I want to work eventually, somewhere like this. But, like, when you interviewed for that job, did you know not to say, or were you just, like, earnest, like, oh, I'm just,
I
do
think
whatever
I
want.
was just dumb and earn it, like
the right kind of dumb.
I would love the show. Would love to do it. I'll do anything you want.
Yeah. I was just a bad PA and, like, a bad lower level because I always knew what I wanted to do was not that. But I didn't have a good attitude about it. I didn't have the right of like, oh, I'll just do anything to get in and then figure out the rest later.
that's a nice thing about not having a college degree is you compensate hard.
Right.
So
Yeah.
my first 5 years was I would do anything to stay and not have them look at my transcripts.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, plus you still have athletic eligibility left, which is good.
I have like 2 years left of my prime. I
Yeah.
need to get going on that.
Right. You could be like
Do
the local news story about the old guy who goes back to play basketball for the, or whatever.
Yes.
For the,
I hurt
Take a
myself.
sabbatical.
I hurt myself playing slow pitch Williamsburg softball a month ago. I think I might be on
What kind of
you know,
injury?
I pulled out my back.
Oh, that'll happen
on
at 32.
on a swing at a
Yep.
slow pitch, and I was like, uh-oh.
I had a good 5+ years of softball on the Spike TV team.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
The Colbert team had a good showing this year.
We at Big Morning Buzz, we played
we
you
played
guys.
you guys once. I don't know if we played Colbert
played the
this summer.
Daily- we
I
played the Daily
I
Show.
unfortunately missed all the softball games. I tried to go to one a summer, and I just didn't
So
get
much
around
fun.
to it this summer. It was just too much.
The Seth team is feared.
We have
We
a
have
lot
some
of
ringers.
we have a lot of crew guys that are very good.
Yeah,
you know.
we some of the people at Colbert take it very seriously, and they're always like, we are not ready for Seth.
That is so funny because
That's the media insight.
I think we
right there,
lost.
guys.
I think we lost a game that I went to, but I don't remember. But
you guys beat us.
yeah.
You have Steve Bautista.
Oh, Yeah, sure. Stage manager extraordinaire. But yeah, we have a couple of good
Brother of Jose
even our
Bautista.
IT guy is like a
Joey
big dude. Wait, what was the college you went to?
William Patterson University.
Yeah, very New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am very
It's
New
located
Jersey.
inside a diner, which I think
Yes.
is interesting.
Yeah. Ha!
At a traffic circle inside a diner.
Yeah, at a
is
roundabout.
William Patterson
Yeah.
University.
If you need to go make a left into William Patterson University, you actually need to make a right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And take that jug handle. It's a
Yeah.
wonderful place.
Yeah. That's cool.
I like very New Jersey. That should be my lower third always.
Yeah.
Jake Plunkett, very New Jersey.
Yeah. Never pumped your own gas.
When I went to the conventions, I struggled.
Yeah.
I was in Cleveland. I was like, what do you mean I have to get out of the car?
Right. Were you driving everyone around?
Yeah, so I had some...
That was always my least favorite task as a
I hated
PA.
it.
There's so much
This
pressure.
was the Triumph.
the Triumph thing. I drove from Cleveland to Philly because we worked so late that we missed our flights. And Smigel's like, well, I'll just drive.
Oh, God.
And so then here I am, 8 hours.
Van full of...
With Smigel, Feldman, and John Benson, the producer at the time. And it was tough.
I can't imagine the crotchetiness in that car.
Yeah, except he would get into like weird moments where he was so excited to see like a cartoon chicken on a poster, and he's like, "We have to investigate." I'm like, "What do you mean?"
That's amazing.
So he'd pull us off, and
So you went from Triumph to Wilmore to Colbert?
no, it went from Wilmore to Lifetime to Triumph to Colbert, and
Right.
I've been at Colbert now 2 years.
Yeah.
What happened at Lifetime?
I don't know.
Just women's issues.
I don't know. I was hired there to do something, and then like 2 months later, I was like, "So what is that something?"
It was like a bridge to
It was
your
a
next
bridge.
thing. Yeah, that's cool.
because Nightly Show was on the downturn at that point. We knew that
Right.
shit was going wrong.
Really good people at Wilmore, though.
Oh,
They've all
my
gone-
favorite. In fact, it's probably a show I've made the closest friends at, but it just no one was watching, and
Yeah.
Comedy Central just was not. I mean, when a network tells you do not order swag,
Right.
you know
You know.
very clearly it's like, oh, okay, I should probably polish the resume.
My prediction, I told you this the other day, is when the Trump N-word tape does come out, Fox News is going to bring back Larry Wilmore's performance at the Correspondent Center where he used the N-word to Obama,
boy.
and they're going to claim that it's the same thing. They're going to say it's just as bad.
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
That is probably 100% true.
Yeah.
I am also of the mind it's not going to mean a thing when that does come out.
Well, you were the original predictor, so you should know.
It's just,
you were,
what is that going to affect his base? His base is all like, yeah, that's one of our top
that's why
5
we
favorite
voted
words.
for him. Yeah. Oh boy, that's rough.
He said our favorite word.
Yeah.
I think that I
love him more.
The negative effect could be in the midterms, the swing voters, but these candidates who are sort of like relying on him, like how. They're relying on the fact that like, oh, I like Trump, but like they don't have his, swaying power on people. Like they're going to be hurt, I think.
We hope. Yeah.
So,
How do you enjoy working in like hardcore, like above Midtown, like 50? Because I lived at 55th and Broadway. You work basically 54th and Broadway.
Yeah.
What are your lunch options? Where are you going? I'm very interested in all of this.
It's so funny. I go to Pret every day.
Really?
Yeah. I hate it. It's literally
But
it's
the
that
closest.
it's that or Hello Deli and going to see Rupert.
oh,
and
you really go to the Hello Deli?
There are a lot of
Do
people
you
who
have
go to
a
Hello
go-to
Deli.
sandwich at the Hello Deli?
I like their egg sandwich
Yeah.
enough. I will not do lunch there.
Got it.
The lunch options suck.
Yeah.
It's
so
the
funny.
worst.
But you are close to a Wendy's.
We are close to Wendy's.
It's like the only good Wendy's.
and there is a Bear Burger nearby, so
Yeah,
that's a
very
good
good.
burger joint.
And there's the new there's the new La Esquina taco thing right by the NR.
I didn't know that.
55th. Yeah, the corner. It's called.
I think did we go there?
We
No.
went there.
I worked at Letterman for a year, and I
go.
never went to Hello Deli.
Really?
Yeah, never. I mean, I may have gone in once just to see it, but I never.
It is very
never ate-
disappointing.
Oh, and Applejack Diner, which I lived above.
Yeah.
You should
I
give
think
it.
that diner is fine. I
You
go
should
there
give
once
it-
in a while.
The Hamburger Deluxe was like
See, that's my problem. I go there for breakfast.
also very good.
You think? I go there
it's
to hang
fine.
out with the Oliver people once in a blue. We
fine.
get lunch.
But
It's
I
like a
lived
piece of
above it,
cord.
and we would call down and say, you just say Burger Deluxe 9D, 9H, and they would send it right up.
Oh, really?
And how's that building?
9D.
So I'm sure. I think I heard they renovated it between Letterman and
Right, you
Colbert,
worked in there.
right?
Yeah, they renovated the 11th, 12th, and 14th floor.
Yeah.
But the rest of it feels very Letterman.
I worked in a closet with no windows, and in my closet you would open the door to another closet that was just filled with electrical equipment.
Yeah, I could see that being there. They've definitely knocked a lot of that stuff down, but there are weird closets filled with electrical equipment still to this day.
Yeah.
I was a page with a guy who lived in that building. You know, there's like some residential. By far the smallest apartment I ever saw.
I can't imagine living there.
It was tenement small. It was tiny. He lived in like a loft bed. Under it was a couch with a mini fridge, and that was basically it.
That must be the worst place to live in. 'Cause
Unbelievable that he lived there. We watched like a wrestling pay-per-view in that apartment.
That's kind of weirdly fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just
We
like,
make
wow,
so much
Letterman's like
noise.
3 floors down. That's so weird.
Yeah, we make so much noise too.
Yeah.
We have live animals getting sent up. It's crazy.
You're not doing as much street stuff as Letterman was, so there's
Well,
that, but
we're trying.
Oh yeah,
we just did a whole.
Well, you're in the same building as the
right.
office of TV and the mayor's office of TV and film. So.
You would think that would help too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
just run downstairs, get a permit.
I think Letterman.
This is very inside production nerd.
Yeah.
Well,
shit.
but Letterman.
this is how we get those. This is how we go from 4 to 5 fans.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, right.
People dig this shit.
Yeah.
Letterman probably got away with more than we will ever get away with.
Right. I mean, he dropped all kinds of things.
Pat
out the
Farmer.
window.
Yeah, that's true. He was Pat Farmer worked on your show then,
He
right?
just
he
retired.
I saw
that. It was
that.
a very lovely thing.
Yeah.
He was a great guy. Real funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, him and the other guy that used to read Oprah transcripts.
Yes,
was a
whose
famous-
name I'm blanking
Yeah.
on. He
Was
came.
It Biff?
He came.
No,
to
it wasn't Biff. It was.
Wasn't Biff. It was. I want to say it was like a Clyde type of name, but I'm not getting it right.
Yeah.
Cliff?
We could find out.
Was it Cliff?
Alex could find out for us.
Yeah.
I don't think it was Cliff. Should we get into Jake's
Let's get
day?
into the day.
There was a specific. Is there a specific day we're going to talk?
You in the last few months produced a very funny field segment travel piece with starring your mom.
Yeah, that's true. Bootsy.
Which was amazing, and it was like evident immediately that like, oh, there's a chance here that she could become a recurring character, and I think you'll confirm that.
I think we're gonna have at least one more.
I love it. Well,
Yeah.
so when I saw you tweet it before I even watched it, I tweeted you that when I was on the Buzz morning show, again nobody watched it, but we had Lisa Rinna from Days of Our Lives on. My mom's been watching Days of Our Lives for over 30 years, so we had my mom call in
That's fun.
and talk to her. And my mom quickly changed the subject to the adult diaper commercials that Lisa Rinna does. I totally went off script and was like, "I love you in those like it was complimentary because of how moms think." But she was like, "I loved you in those commercials," and she was just like, they had to talk about that she is the face of an adult diaper.
She's the
commercial.
butt of
And then we
adult
had my
diapers,
mom back a few times. But anyway,
Yeah,
that's why it like connected with me. But it was such a funny piece. I would love to hear sort of how that day went down because working with your mom is not easy.
It's not easy.
And I don't even know your mom, but I'm guessing.
This whole thing came about we had a pitch meeting for midterms that I completely forgot about. And so I'm sitting in that meeting, and luckily I'm like the last guy to have to pitch. And I'm panicking because I'm like, I have not thought about a fucking pitch for this. And so I just kind of was like, well, what if we send out someone who's uninformed to talk to voters and just get that perspective? And they're like, all right, well, do you have anyone in mind? And I just was like, yeah, my mom.
It's great.
And they're like, okay, well,
But they had
what do you have on her? And I had Instagram videos because I torture my mom on social media.
This is so funny.
Because I am a cliche. And so I showed them the Instagram videos, and they're like, this is funny. You should let's try one. Would you be willing to do it on an off week? Because we don't want to use show resources for this. And I said, yes, I will go out with my mom on an off week. And luckily we had a Democratic hopeful who was like, yeah, I'll talk to your mom. And so we went out to Staten Island, and
which is also amazing.
And I love now that everyone thinks we're from Staten Island.
Well, when
Every
you said
press pickup-
Jersey, in my head I went, I thought he was from Staten Island.
Yeah, everyone. I was a roofer in Staten Island once upon a time in my previous life. But no, totally a New Jersey guy, and my mom got mad at it. She's like, "We're not from fucking Staten Island."
Well, your mom has she has a very fun way of talking.
So when you say uninformed, they're not politically
politically apathetic.
apathetic.
Yeah.
Even now.
Even now. So we took her out on another one, and we're talking about Russia.
Yeah.
She didn't know what the Cold War was. I had to explain it to her, and it was a
she
little
grew
bit.
up in.
And I was like, "Why did you think you were hiding under your desk that entire time?" And she's like, "Honestly, I thought it was like a fun game." And I was like, "Well, it kind of was for two people."
This is like when they do the poll and they say they poll 100 people and it's like or 1,000 people, like one person's never heard of Donald Trump. And
That's
like,
right.
I wish I was that person. That sounds great.
It is. She is so happy in her life.
Right.
And this is what's such an interesting perspective for me, because I am miserable with how much Trump news I have to keep up with every day. So we're on this 2-week break. I actually turn
If you
my
follow
phone off.
Jake on Twitter, this
It
is
is
not an understatement.
No, it is every day is something really catastrophic. And my mom is just worried about Dr. Phil.
Blissfully ignorant.
Just worried about the 600-pound life lady.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
That's all that enters
I
her
don't blame
purview.
her. It's very. It can stress you out watching that show. Hoarders as well.
But her trying to figure out what the blue wave was like such a wonderful moment for me, because she kept thinking it was something dangerous. So she came up to me off camera. She's like, "What is this blue wave? Should I call someone?"
So you go out during an off week of the show.
Yeah.
And what do you get a crew together? Or
We
how does
had
this work?
2 cameramen and an audio guy.
From the show or
We
from?
hired them. So I was given $3,000, $4,000 for this,
Yeah.
which for
That's all
us
you
is
need.
insanely cheap.
Yeah.
And they let us rent a van. And what we didn't realize when we were conceptualizing the piece is that we would end up shooting the van, and that would end up being a part of the piece. I never predicted to be on camera at all.
Right.
But my mom legitimately was asking me questions.
Well, the interplay between you two is fantastic.
It's fun.
Yeah.
And so the van stuff ended up becoming a very popular part of it. And so now it's a part of the format of these pieces, is that I always have to brief my mom.
Right.
So I wish one day I could release the stuff that we can't put on air on the van stuff, because she ends up talking about the fact that I don't pay parking tickets, and she swears I'm going to get my dad arrested for it.
You're a scofflaw.
Yeah, she's oblivious to cameras. She has no idea cameras
That's
are on
actually a great thing, because so many people are can't not know that they're on camera.
That's right. They ham. She doesn't. I mean, she does, but she doesn't do it because the cameras are on. She does
Right.
it because she's a crazy.
She's with her boy.
She's with her boy. Yeah, who's very mad at her.
So do you go? So do you go stay at home the night before, or you're in the city? You go pick her up in the van. What happens?
Sleep in your Kearney bed.
No, I stay at home. I tell her the minimum amount of information before we get there, because I want her to be as confused as possible, to let the world know this is how blissfully unaware she
You
is.
throw a bag over her head, push her in a van.
It's basically that. The first time we showed
The
up,
opening of Cribs.
she had no idea what time we were going to show up that day.
Or Room Raiders, sorry.
We got there, she was pissed. So that's something you'll never see on camera. She was cursing everyone, telling the camera, "Get the fuck out, I'm not ready."
I love it.
So yeah, our whole strategy with her is to tell her nothing and then let her tell the cameras everything.
Yeah. Save it.
Save it.
It's also a good podcast.
So you get there, you pile her in the van,
Yes.
and then you drive from
With my sisters, that was an added.
just unplanned.
Yeah, my mom's like, I don't leave anywhere without my posse.
How old are they?
29 and 25.
And they just live nearby, or
They live at home. I'm the
they
only
live at
one
home.
that got out. And
Somehow.
yeah, and so if you watch that piece, you could see 2 very vaguely resembling me looking faces in the back seat smiling. That's my sisters being like, "What is this?"
Wow. Are they as out of it as your mom in terms of are they more in tune with what's
The
going on?
29-year-old has no idea what's going on in the world, but the
Yeah.
25-year-old, I think, because of the 2016 election, is now pretending to be very
She's
into
like, hey,
stuff.
do you know about this?
Yeah, but she's a little like the Bobby Moynihan character that kind of gets it right.
Oh,
but
yeah,
when he says
Anthony
stuff. I'm like,
Crispino.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, that's
Few
not
things wrong,
100% right.
This is it's so funny to me that the things you're describing, it sounds like somebody who lives in the middle of, I mean, you really do live in the middle of nowhere, but 5 miles from New York. It's sort of like a weird,
Jersey's weird,
it's like
man.
a dead zone,
Jersey's very red in general. It has very
Very working class.
Very working class. It has deep pockets of blue with a lot of people, so it always swings blue. But
Yeah.
if you go down past the Raritan Bridge, it is Confederate flags. And
yeah.
my cousins lived in Howell, New Jersey, right near Tom's River. Mm-hmm. They won't talk to me.
Yeah.
I'm like disowned from half my family because I rub elbows with the liberal elites every day.
Yeah.
That Colbert guy is like their Satan.
Yeah.
So interesting.
So,
Do you have to tell did you tell this like to set up the shoot? Did you tell them that you were coming in under the guise of like, my mom's super uninformed and we want to see that perspective?
We were very honest, yeah. So the Democratic guy knew that he was going to be talking to a voter who knew nothing. And that made it interesting for me too, because it was very...
Was he happy with the piece?
He was happy with the piece. Yeah, we ran into equal time laws because he won the primary. We were trying to rush it before then, so there's not a lot of him in the piece, but he was happy with it.
So
Democrat, I assume on Staten Island, he's an underdog, probably, right? It's a pretty Republican.
Right now it's leaning R. And the Cook.
Yeah. So how long did you shoot with him for?
We had 45 minutes with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, so it goes both ways. Because she's so uninformed, she has zero follow-up questions. She just kind of nods and goes, yeah, that's right.
Right.
Like, what do you mean that's right? You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Like poker. Hey, bro.
Yeah, and so there's a little bit of that in the piece where I keep telling her, like, no, you have to keep going. And then she gets mad and she goes, shut the fuck up. Done.
He curses like a sailor, much like my
She is
mom.
bad. Sorry if I'm cursing too
No,
much.
please. It's fine.
But
So
she
funny.
she has a real bad mouth. And that was interesting for him.
Did you have to buy her a crew meal?
Yeah, she demands to have...
Here's the menu. Pick something.
On the second
Under
one,
$15.
the second one we did, she demanded ice cold water at all times.
Ice cold water.
Now
Yeah.
she's a diva.
She is a diva now.
That's great.
One shoot, and she goes on live and sings a song, and now she's like, I'm going to go on
She
live.
did sing the song at the end of the piece.
Yeah, terribly. It was
Yeah.
so bad.
And then you guys did the follow-up where she walks out after
Yes,
the
that's
piece.
it. And then kind of sings with John Batiste.
Was that fun for her to be
That-
on the show?
Yeah, she loved it.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Had she watched Colbert before? Like
No.
she'd never seen
Even
the show.
though you work on it?
She thought I worked at the Nightly Show still.
Wow.
So she was very confused when she got there. She's like, this isn't what I thought it was.
Do her friends in what I'm guessing is a mahjong group enjoy her newfound?
They like her. They hate us.
Wow.
So it's a weird thing. They love what she's doing, but they hate the monologue.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It is a weird thing where, there. It's such a strange thing when your kids are different, than you. I mean, there are people we know, I'm sure, who are like, like they hate Saturday Night Live. They think it's bad, but they're like, oh, that's my kid who works on Saturday Night Live. It's just sort of, you're proud of your kids, I think. Unless
I work
some
on a
people
hip-hop
aren't.
show. My mom doesn't know anything
Some
that's
people
happening on my
aren't,
show.
I guess. I don't.
How long is the day?
So
Putting your mom through like a 14-hour day?
No, she can't crank that hard. She gets really tired. We noticed that her energy dips hard after 4 hours.
Got it.
That's like me.
Yeah.
I shoot days are not good for me. I'm an office creature. I like to be at the desk in the air conditioning with my, I like ice cold water too, if I'm being perfectly honest.
It is good.
Yeah.
I would recommend it.
Yeah.
She will shut down. She's not good at pushing through.
Yeah.
So the footage at the end of the day is always the worst.
Now, because she has a bit of a potty mouth, did she enjoy the Triumph stuff that you worked on?
She has no idea I did that.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like
I was
she'd
gone for
enjoy
2
it.
weeks, and she was like, "Where'd you go?" I was like, "What do you mean? I just had like a life-altering event."
What's the interplay between Saachi and your mom? Because Sachi's so fun and funny and also pretty liberal.
Yeah.
Very liberal.
Yeah, I don't think that we ever get really heavy into social issues, but they play. I mean, in like goofing around.
It's
It's
fun.
very easy to beat on me when those two are together.
Right. Do they team up on you?
Yeah, Saachi goes into like roast mode, and my mom
Love
gets
it.
into it. So Sachi's very clever, and my mom's very like, he's a stupid fuck, right? And
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not great.
It's a very well constructed joke form.
Yeah.
You really lucked out with your mom being kind of like not really engaged with society, because a lot of people probably had the opposite, where it's like or with their parents, they have like butt heads about politics, and
That's right.
so
Here's a question: when you bring the tape back and let's say you put together a rough cut and you show like the first reactions of people who obviously might only know the Instagram videos, are they like, holy fucking shit?
Yeah, that was fun. I was out taping a piece in LA, VidCon. We went to VidCon. And apparently a link of the Bootsie piece got around the office. And so people just kept texting me, being like, your mom, exclamation point. And I'm like, what the fuck, what happened to my mom? And it just spread like wildfire. I mean, we hadn't done a piece like that on our show. So people were like, what is this?
And now they're like, let's send Bootsie to Comic-Con.
Yeah. Well, then Colbert got wind of it because that was all.
Well,
was all done in secret.
Yeah.
And so he watched it and he guffawed. He was like, "What is this? How you live?" And I'm like, yeah. He loved it because it explained me a little bit. Because I think I'm a weird creature to a lot of people. I'm very quiet, but I'm also like insanely dry. But he's like, "Oh, you are the reverse pendulum of your mom."
Yeah.
Yeah. But then you never know whether it's like going to be like an inside joke that just The Office likes, or whether it's something that's
that was
translate.
the fear when we showed it to the audience. Was like, okay, well, these
is this only funny because we know Jake?
Yes.
Yeah.
And luckily, it seemed like it wasn't.
Yeah.
People were really into it, and we learned some stuff based on what the audience.
Well,
laughed
she's
at
got
and what
the
they
nickname,
did.
she's got the voice, she's got the mouth,
And she's like a little wrecking ball. She just
Yeah.
goes into
Yeah.
places, and you can see people being like, "What are you?"
and she ends it with a song, which is just so delightful.
We have that when, like, I mean, we were talking about the Pat Farmer thing before, but like when we put our crew guys in pieces, and it's like we're laughing so hard because we know that they're the crew guys, and then like you show it to the audience, like, I don't know if this is gonna work, and then they always crush. I mean, like they're funny guys. It's funny to hear them, and so like you're like, oh, it's not just me, not just us that think it's funny.
I think the audience is smarter than sometimes we remember.
Yeah,
because a lot of these people now know that how the inside baseball nature
I know,
of everything
yeah.
works. This whole generation makes shit. So they're like, yeah, we know what a stagehand is.
we know what a showrunner means. Yeah. So you've since shot other things with
We shot one thing, that we're hoping to air sometime in September.
with another politician
I will not
can't
say.
say-
I
can't
cannot
say.
reveal that, but we did shoot another one, and it's pretty ridiculous.
Bootsie at the AVNs.
Bootsy at the AVN Awards is actually a good idea.
Yeah, write that down. Yeah.
How's the office culture?
At Colbert,
Yeah.
a wonderful place.
It's a fun place.
Yeah, I think
Because sometimes those shows aren't.
I've worked on those.
Yeah.
It's a lot of very good people.
That's great.
I think a lot of us get very tired based on the fact that we are so hyper tuned to the news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
would
it's
say
a
at the
weird
end of-
time.
It's a weird time.
I always say though, there's nobody you'd rather spend the day with in a time like this, because it's at least it's like people who are upset about the way things are going, but also able to joke about it, which is very, very. It's a very hard needle to thread, because some people.
There's a lot
Oh,
of people around who can make you feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sort of the
I think
same.
I would
People
rather
are-
be here than like MSNBC.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Oh man.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
and what's it called?
Chris Hayes, make me feel better.
You guys are off for the next 2 weeks. You have to do any shoots, or you off?
No, I think there's a lot of I was about to say blackberries turning off, but you guys get what I mean.
Yeah, we know each
Yeah.
other.
There's going to be a lot of disconnecting. in the
Flip
next
phone,
weeks.
power down,
Yeah, basically.
T9 word. Turn it off.
shutting down.
Cool.
Shift command.
Do you have any other questions about?
What? So again, I mentioned your Twitter. There's one tweet. I'm not going to go back and find it. It was basically the sentiment of like always feeling like you're going to get fired.
That's
which is-
100% true.
Which is something that I wouldn't say I struggle with it, but I'm always hyper aware and thinking that, like, if somebody's like, "Hey, can I talk to you?" I'm like, "Oh, here it comes."
I 100% get that. I had
Like, if you go into a conference room with one person, I'm like, "This is it.
Yeah.
Something's happening."
it's like Bronx Tales. Like now I can't leave.
Yeah.
It's I had a co-EP. Hey, can you swing by yesterday? And I was like, fuck.
basically,
the day
"Hey,
before
can you
break.
swing by?" As you're done.
And there's like a 2-week break coming up, and I'm like, this is a perfect time to bury a body. Like, no one will remember.
Hey,
Yeah.
can you swing by? Is either you're getting fired or like we need to get cupcakes for Janet.
Yeah.
And it ended up being that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's
They're-
Janet's birthday. We need to get cupcakes.
It's very hard.
Or here's a card in a manila envelope. Pass it around.
It was
the
literally
audience.
like, hey, do you mind if we have someone do an Aretha Franklin clip? And I was like, well, why Aretha Franklin clip? And that's how I found out Aretha Franklin died. And
Yeah.
part of me was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's horrible.
But
yeah.
you're just wired that way. You just
Yeah.
feel that.
Always. Yeah, I'm never comfortable. I always feel like
Very,
I'm one step
very
away.
hard to find that right middle ground of worried enough that you're going to get fired, that you do a good job at your job and stay on your toes, but not so worried that you are like being driven crazy every moment.
Yeah, that is a hard thing. I haven't quite nailed it. It goes.
Well, you're doing pretty well.
Yeah, it's been good, but it's always like
And
one
the show
I
is
feel
doing
like you
well.
screwed up the Lifetime opportunity, but
Yeah,
otherwise,
I think about that a lot.
And you got nominated for an Emmy, right? The show.
Yeah,
Awesome.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
You gonna go?
I am gonna go.
Nice.
I'm gonna watch John Oliver people give a very nice acceptance.
That's the plan for us.
it'd be
but,
cool
yeah.
if you were like one of those athletes that decides not to go to the draft and you watch it from home.
Yeah,
with your
and
family.
They cut to me at my home
They
with
cut-
Bootsie
They
being
would
like, "I
Bootsie?
didn't think you'd do it."
What? Who the fuck? What?
They cut to you
Yeah.
watching the.
Where's Wilmore?
These motherfuckers.
They cut to you watching the Emmys at a Buffalo Wild Wings.
It'd be a fun sketch.
Yeah.
I would love to
That
watch
is actually a really fun sketch.
Yeah.
The guy who
Seth Meyers decided not to attend and
Yeah.
watch it with his family and
Or-
loved ones.
We're at the Creative Arts this year, so we won't see you, unfortunately. But they alternate our category every other year.
I love Seth. I think it's a great show.
It's very fun, and thank you. And you guys are doing awesome as well.
Hey, look at me. I'm sitting here with
The
a
Love
couple of
Fest.
media
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
insiders.
Hey, how about Peter? How about Rosenberg? Huh?
He's doing,
Yeah.
I mean, he's the hardest working
There you
man on
go.
TV. I can barely keep up.
Should we do the blow off?
Yeah, you clearly have a very busy schedule in terms of shooting and whatnot. But so I'm guessing you use work. But how do you? This is the blow off. How do you blow people off? How do
Or
you?
is there a
do
time recently when
time
you've blown somebody off
specific
in a creative fashion?
blow off story?
I
get out of
have a
things?
very go-to excuse for blowing people off, and it's always, hey, this edit's going really poorly. I have to stay and fix it.
I've used the "I'm stuck in an edit" many times.
Stuck in an edit is so vague that no one will ever be like, can I ask like why you're stuck in an edit? They're just like, yeah, you're stuck in an edit.
In terms of getting out of social plans, you mean? or-
If there's like a drink that I have to go to, and I'm like, I'm not going to this fucking drink.
Yeah.
I'll be like,
I like using it with non-production people who are like,
I've done it to Bootsie.
yeah.
I'm like, hey, I can't come home this weekend. I got to go edit. And she's like, he's got to go edit. That's so nice.
Now, are there ever times where the edit actually is going long, or is it always pretty much a lie?
No, there are times. We did a piece on Central Jersey like 2 months ago that I think took like 4 months because we just could not figure it out.
Wow.
How's the couch in your edit?
That's a
It's
very important question.
not great.
Yeah.
They revamped the edits a little bit, but originally it was like a closet with a,
you have a window?
swivel chair. They've punched holes in the wall and kind of put a glass pane. I wouldn't call it a window. It's just kind of like that hole that we see if it's raining outside.
Right. It's a porthole.
Yeah, it's a porthole. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
There's
Always stuck in an edit.
the Ian Berger classics. We used to work out of this building called Postworks down on
I remember
Canal Street,
Postworks.
and they have free. They do like bagels every morning. If you work in an edit facility, they usually provide you with like breakfast and some food stuffs in the kitchen, like in an actual, So they always had bagel breakfast and like beers in the evening and stuff. And so his theory was that if you were unemployed, you could and you could get into the building, you could just like go there every morning for breakfast and like open your laptop and sit like in the kitchen area. And if anybody asked you like what you were doing, you'd be like, oh, I'm just rendering.
Rendering. I love the rendering.
Yeah, I'm in edit 3. We're rendering.
That is great.
Just like the most vague thing nobody would ever follow up.
Yeah.
And you could just sit there all day eating free food and like free internet just at a post-production facility.
I've definitely used the Avid Crashed.
That's a
lot,
good one.
In order to like give myself an extra day or two, I'll be like, I wish I could show you it, but the Avid crashed.
The Avid,
I'm
right.
like, oh my god.
That's a great, like,
Is everything
I forgot
okay?
my homework. Like,
It is.
We are not ready. Sorry,
Yeah,
the Avid crashed.
I can't give you my book report. The Avid
I'd
crashed.
show you. We have a great rough cut.
Yeah.
We got really nerdy there for a second.
I
but
like
thank
it.
you. I love stuck
Well,
in
it's
an
good.
edit.
It's good to know that if you ever need something, if you work,
You should use it and be like, and then people are
Yes.
like, you don't
Yeah, you don't go to the edit.
touch an
I
edit.
go. I've been to the edit.
It seems nice.
occasionally.
It's very dark.
It's very dark in there. I'm not comfortable, and
Matt's like, keep the door.
I'm like,
open.
it's so funny when I say I don't like going to shoots. The edit is like, this is too inside. This is too like.
I was so afraid. I faked my way through any edit
Yeah.
I ever had to be in for the first like 5 years.
Oh yeah.
And then this is so nerdy. The first time I felt comfortable to be like, how about we L cut that? I was like, yes, I did it. I used it correctly.
I have actually like stood up for a high five when I get like edit terminology like on point. I'm like,
You
come
and
on,
I are
come on.
Yeah.
cut from the same cloth. completely
I used to
faking
be
it.
like, can you do like the flippity flop?
Oh, I
thing?
make- yeah,
and you
of
can see
course.
the editor's hands just kind of like, I'll do it.
This motherfucker.
Dude, this has been super fun. It's
Yeah.
great to
Shout out
finally
to
meet you in
Bootsy.
person.
Yeah.
Yes. And
You cannot
She ever
follow
wants
her
to
on
come on
social
a
media.
no,
podcast.
do not follow her. Yeah.
She would.
You let us know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Just tell her she's going to meet Dr. Phil.
No, but thank you. I know we know you're super busy and big fans of your work.
Social media.
Thank you.
Give us your handles.
It's at Jake Plunkett at Twitter. That's
Spelled
my
like
social
Jim,
media.
the quarterback. Yeah.
True.
I get that so often.
Really? Well, yeah.
He's the
And
most
I have
famous
an
Plunkett.
Uncle Jim, and he's a turnpike worker, and so everyone's so disappointed when I tell them that.
Derek Gaines worked in the
He was a toll
in the
booth,
toll booth.
cleaner.
That's what he
club.
did. Yeah,
Cleaner,
he's
yeah.
retired now. He's a good guy.
Cool. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And we'll check it. And your Instagram is Jake Plunkett as well, too.
I think it's. I don't know. I think it's Plunkosaurus. I
Plunk-
think
oh, okay.
By the
someone-
way, R.I.P. Your cat.
Thank you. Yeah. Shout out to Corn up in Kitty Heaven.
Those were some sweet videos.
Oh God, that was such a. I went. The vet told me it was a sprained hip, and then
Really?
12 hours later the cat was dead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Summer. That's
So I'm a little like,
Yeah.
what the fuck's that hip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I brought that
good,
up.
Good way to end it. Thanks for
Guys,
being here,
I'm in-
Jake. and
I'm in an
congrats
edit. I gotta go
on
to
the
an
show.
edit. He's
Yeah,
gonna
there
go
you
to
go.
an
That was a
edit.
good
I gotta go
out.
to an
Good
edit.
edit.
We all
gotta-
three of us
I gotta
have to
go
go to an
render.
edit.
Yeah. Well, stay busy,
Stay
everybody.
busy.
Thanks.
Voicemail, cause I'm busy. Whenever I get with her, say I'm busy. And I'm gonna hit you later, cause I'm busy. Busy with her.